Oh, Josh, you gonna say something?
Yes, Nat, we're here finally after 3 years of whatever this is, roommates.
We got the name though. The name is off the cuff
Off the cuff.
because we don't prepare anything in advance, which is not going to go well for
It's
us.
true. It's like kind of like my homework. It's very much like my homework.
Exactly, and it's going to be good for the audience, maybe, but
That's
not
true.
good for us, maybe.
If there is an audience,
No, they won't be.
we might just like bury this in a time capsule.
Sure, but it could stand a test for time.
It's true. It
Revolutionary.
could. Well, Nat.
Your roommate's mad judging.
Oh,
I can't.
yes.
He's
Yes.
shaking his head. Listen, man, we'll talk about D&D or something at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're currently sitting here with one microphone shared between us, in case you can't tell.
Very unprofessional.
It's like somehow mounted to my bed frame next to my desk because my desk was too narrow to hold it.
All right, I'm going to take a photo right now.
Yeah, we can. There you go. Maybe if we make an Instagram page, Nat will post our humble beginnings.
Yeah. You know, Josh, I'm looking at your fish tank and there's no fish.
That is correct. I have managed to kill 2 fish since we've been here. And I'll tell you what, one of those was my fault. The other one, I blame New York State's water system. Right?
Yeah, explain what happened because I was with you. We went to Petco and you bought it. And
Yes.
its name was Yin and Yang originally, and then you changed it.
Yes, it was yin and yang, and then I realized that has weird spiritual components to it, right? So we figured out the Jewish words, the Hebrew words for day and night in Genesis when God created the earth is Yom and Lumen? Nope, it's not Lumen. I always forget.
No, it's dead anyway.
It's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so the first one, it was never like fully well. When I like got it, like within the first day, I could notice like one of its fins wasn't moving, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like Nemo. Well, Nemo's a movie, and if it was real, he would have died. I'm pretty sure my fish had like a tumor or something. The other one, he lived. Oh, there's a bug flying around. The other one, he lived for like 2-3 weeks, like a little over a month. And well, I was changing out the water in his tank, and I always like filter the new water. Like I have a Brita filter. So listen, I'm not paying 5 gallons every time I need to refill my fish tank. So I'm not buying water from the store. So I filter it through a Brita filter, and it gets all the crap out of it. But apparently there was like chlorine or something in the water this time, which I don't know why. I've used this method like so many times before, and it never bothered the fish. And then I got the new filtered water, put it in it temporarily, start cleaning the tank, and then I look over and Buddy's just like floating upside down in the tank. It was a bad day for all of us.
Oh, okay, Josh, come on now.
It's okay, guys.
You know, I think it's kind of a sign of you're not ready to be a dad.
Well, I'm definitely not ready to be a dad.
Well, what are you going to do now with the fish tank now that it's empty? Because it's kind of just sitting there like furniture. Which is funny because I had a friend in high school who basically pointed out how useless goldfish are. They're just furniture and they just do nothing. You can't really teach them anything.
Oh, I taught it. It followed my finger around during it was perfect for just getting distracted during quiet time. I just put my finger up there and it would just like follow it around.
Okay, but the
cool.
tank is actually furniture. Like, what are you going to do? Buy more fish?
I will buy more fish. So it's actually, you guys can't see it. It has like a little bit of standing water in it because I have a plant in it that provides some oxygen, and I'm trying to keep that plant alive. I just haven't had time to go to the pet store and get a new fish. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is. You're right. I'm not fit to be a dad, and that's why I'm testing it on fish. Right.
Yeah.
I can kill as many fish as I need to until I learn how to keep one alive.
I could have answered
and then
that
my
question.
kids will turn out okay.
I could have answered that question if you could be a dad before you got the fish. You didn't have to die for that.
It's true. We learned that from campers. Like that's where life gives us camper scores, so we can practice.
You're
on other
doxing
people's
what
kids.
school I go to, Josh.
No,
I
we're
use-
Davis.
Oh. Thank you, Josh. Yeah. But, you know, I just want to talk about something else other than goldfish.
Okay.
You know, real quick, I did actually have goldfish. That was the only pets I ever had in my life.
Really?
I went to a wedding, and part of we got put in a table, and each table had like 3 goldfish.
Mhm.
And my sister like begged the the lady who got married, like, can we just take this? And she asked my parents, and they're like, sure.
Wait, hold on. Each table at this wedding had 3 goldfish.
More or less.
They were
from what I
gonna
remember.
die anyway. They weren't gonna. What are you gonna go on your honeymoon and take care of 38 fish?
I think it was the wedding company. They provided it. I don't know. Whatever it was.
They
I
don't
was like,
have PETA in Australia apparently.
I don't know. So then, so she's the oldest, so she got 2 of them. I only got 1.
All right.
I remember one of them was a fat one too that she had.
She gave you the fat one.
No, she kept the fat one.
Oh.
One of them died within like a week.
Oh, my laptop's gonna die.
Yeah, one of them died within a week. And oh my gosh, Josh, really you didn't.
No, just keep telling your story, Nat. Pretend like nothing's happening.
I don't know if they can hear anything because you're shuffling all over the place.
All right.
Okay.
We'll pause and we'll edit it out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. This is off the cuff.
We're gonna leave it in.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so one of them died within a week, and then the fat one also died somehow, even though
The body positive fish.
yeah. And then mine eventually succumbed to loneliness and just died. And it didn't last a month. Actually, there was one time.
To loneliness.
That's what my sister claimed, and
Yeah,
they
you
said,
don't have hard data.
I don't know. I didn't really care about the fish really that much. It was just. It was
Well,
really.
that's why.
It was really no. It was really my. Well, I was too young to even know how to do it or go about it. Actually, I do remember one time my sister and I we did misbehave, and my dad got so mad at us he threatened to get rid of the fish, so he pretended to pour it away, and that scarred us. We're like that actually scarred us because we're like my mom didn't know that my dad like actually didn't.
Yeah.
So my mom's like, "What the heck? You're killing the goldfish." I don't know what happened. What I do remember is later on the goldfish was still there. So it's the exact same one. He didn't buy a new one. My dad's a cheapskate. He would not do that. If he meant to,
they're like 50 cents.
well, if my dad wanted to kill it, he would have killed it. He wouldn't have cared. But he didn't kill it, which I'm glad my dad had the soul enough to be like, just because my kids were bad doesn't mean I had to kill the fish.
Thank you, Mr. Tan, for leaving Nat's fish alive.
Well, yeah, it only lasted like a few.
Yeah.
Maybe he got PTSD from nearly dying. Never recovered.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's my pet stories. I haven't owned pets since. I actually the other day I looked at on the internet and I found out that more than half of Americans actually own a pet in their household.
More than half of Americans.
Like 55% have a dog or a cat or something, and I find that to be true based on my experience. But I don't know if I will ever own a pet personally. I don't see. I guess a dog, but like a guard dog. Like I don't see like the point of owning like a small Chihuahua. Like what's the point in having a pet if they really can't be of service to you? That's my whole point.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec? Do you know who Ron Swanson is?
Yes.
Yes. Any dog under 5 pounds is a cat, and cats are pointless. That's what Ron
Yeah,
Swanson
cats
says.
act like they own the whole place. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
No, cats are disgusting. I don't want to own anything that will pee in my house.
Like at least a dog can protect me. Like a dog is sensitive to sound.
My roommate's very upset. He loves his cat.
Well, too bad.
He brought a calendar with a new photo of his cat.
Yeah, we already got
our
got our first hater already now.
He has a mug with his cat. Okay, listen. Before we get canceled, before this even gets
No,
started,
no, we should get canceled.
Cats. I do like cats. I just don't want them in my house.
I love Garfield more than Snoopy, but I prefer dogs more than cats. You know, that's my compromise.
Yeah?
Like Garfield is more entertaining than Snoopy, but I would personally own a
Now
dog.
we have beef because I love Snoopy.
I love Snoopy too.
It's fall in the Adirondacks. All right.
I love Snoopy too.
It's Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown.
True.
Right?
Charlie
tradition,
Brown
right?
is. You know what? I'm gonna say it. The only reason people even read Peanuts is because of Snoopy and not because of Charlie. Charlie is dying.
No, that's true.
Charlie has been dying for decades.
Honestly, you know,
he has no hair.
Class, we should do a case study on Charlie Brown. I think he has a lot of self pity.
He's like Caillou. He's not
like Caillou.
He doesn't have much time. He's a Make-A-Wish kid.
Okay, Charlie Brown is like Caillou if he had Christian parents.
Yeah. Listen, all I'm saying is, anyway, dogs over cats.
Yep.
Okay.
It's crazy. I have my dogs out right now.
Yeah, true. I want to actually talk about something. We're gonna talk about the man's not so best friend. I guess put it that way, but man's counterpart at the same time. We're gonna talk about women for a second.
Oh no.
And I'm not going on a rant, but I just wanted to ask you if you ever noticed this. You know how like in this nowadays we live in this like egalitarian society, and like they can do the same thing that you guys do.
Yeah.
Do you still have it in your nature where you still hold the door open for them and you still like, you know, do the gentlemanly things? Like, do you find yourself regularly doing that, or you just don't anymore?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Like,
yeah,
I actually made a pretty big point of that last year. So I held the door like every morning before class last year, like not just for the girls, for everyone. That was mostly because our roommate Connor from first year used to do that, and then when he found out we weren't rooming together in second year, I told him we would meet up every morning and hold the door for everyone.
That's true.
And then Connor, like, I guess life got busy and he stopped showing up, and I figured I should finish what I started.
But you didn't fist bump. Only he did. Right?
I didn't fist bump. Well, I fist bumped some people. It just kind of depended. It was like if they wanted to.
Anytime I reference Connor, people are like, "Who's that guy?" And I go, "The guy who fist bumps people." Now I wonder if people think you were Connor.
Connor was like Florida John Zacola.
We're just naming people now. I didn't know we were gonna be naming people. Listen, anyway, the point I was just talking about the gentlemanly part was like I found that most of the time it's like, oh, thank you and stuff like that, and I'm not expecting anything in return. But then you also got people who like some of them are weird about it, where they're like, no, you need to go in front of me. I don't want to sit. Like I want to sit in this side of the car. You can't sit here. Like weird stuff like that. Or like, why don't you go in? And then obviously, if I go in, someone's gonna point that out and be like, "Why did you not do that?" And it's like, I don't know, it's a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, I don't know, I can't win. I was like,
your honor shame culture is creeping in.
Well, no, I almost want to be like, what do you want?
Yeah, no, I don't
you
know,
want the platitude of me, being gentlemanly, which I would try to do, but then it's like, then you get all like, why are you doing that, or stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Listen, all I'm saying is I'm not expecting anyone to open the door for me. It'd be nice if they do, but I'm just saying a simple thank you would be enough, would suffice.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that hasn't been really been my experience here. Like, mostly because we're just on a Bible campus, so like most of the girls, like, they kind of get it. They're a little more traditional. Like,
I think it's because you opened the door for everyone though, because you did it before class. I'm talking about like,
well, I mean,
you just happen to go out the building, or you going into a building, and then there happens to be a girl behind you, and you do that. And then there's also been times where I try to like speed walk because I'm leaving the building.
To try to get out in front.
Exactly. But then they start speed walking too, and I'm like, what the heck?
Maybe they just have a boyfriend and they're trying to like.
No, I know they don't have a boyfriend.
No.
Because I know some of these people. So it's just like,
Nat, you're like, dang.
It's gonna have to do with a boyfriend. If anything, they would. I find out women who are in a relationship already are like in a lot of ways. Oh, when I was in a relationship talking to a single girl, I found it like a lot easier to talk to them. Because I feel like it's
like other girls.
Yes, I think when you're in a relationship.
Let the record show if you date Nat, he will find it very easy to talk to other women.
No, they make it easy to talk to you, because they know you're taken. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
Like if I go up to a girl and it's like something important for business or whatever, work related, or whatever. Of course, most of the time people know who I am, so they know what I'm asking for, or what I'm talking about. Right. But it's also like you can kind of tell that they feel this like security, knowing that like, yeah, he's taken, or I'm with someone else right now, and you know that kind of thing. Compared to she's single, I'm single.
You know, I wonder if part of that is like, that's like.
It's a protection thing. It's a protection.
Yeah, because like their friend or someone that they know and respect thinks that you're safe enough to date, which like makes you a safe person to talk to. Versus like, let's be honest, like just because you're on a Bible campus, a lot of the guys that come here, like I'm not trying to throw shade or whatever, but like
name him, Josh. You named so many people tonight.
Listen, I'm just saying, a lot of people come here, and they're looking for one thing. They're trying to get that ring by spring, and it's not very attractive in my opinion.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. The most important relationship is being the pursuit of Christ anyway.
Okay, and that's the other thing is pursuit of a woman is pursuit of Christ. If you do it right. Like, think about it. It's not you expressing your love for her. It should be you expressing a love of Christ. And she's just one avenue for that. Like, every relationship, that's why the Bible says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself. Like, understanding that loving your neighbor is you loving Christ because you recognize that Christ loves that person.
Yeah, I think you're winning brownie points with the females right now, I guess, for that one. If they're even listening to this.
I was going to say, that's a bold leap to think that any girl's going to listen to this podcast.
That's true. But, however, they will listen to this. Let's talk about what you said the other day.
Oh, no.
You have the full mic. You have the full mic. Explain what you meant the other day about, well, there's two things you said that were very questionable, and I want to hear. You can pick one of them, whichever one you can remember, what I'm referencing.
All right. I can pick one or the other?
Well, yeah, we'll do the other one another day. That has to be a whole separate topic, I guess.
I don't know if we're... Okay, we have to, like... Okay.
You telling me you cannot
Are we
condemn
talking about? Are you
citizens?
talking about birth control? My opinions on birth
Oh
control.
my gosh, the first episode we're talking about contraception is wild. Look. Do we?
Listen, okay, the culture never shuts up about it, so I feel like we shouldn't be scared to address it.
How about this? I'll give the Catholic Church a bone. I'll side with them on contraception.
What with the Catholic Church? What do they say?
I'll throw them. They're against it, as far as I'm concerned.
Let me pull out my catechism and see. I actually have a copy right
All
now.
right, Josh, you have the floor.
Okay, so the Catholics are against it?
No, what do you think of? Well, explain
My
your whole
position?
opinion. Yes.
Okay, so I'll preface this by saying I'm not a doctor. I understand that. Okay, this is the perspective I'm coming at this from. My dad was a firefighter. He was an EMT, so like, I'm looking at this from a medical perspective. I'm also looking at this from a religious perspective. All right, so there's like two layers to it. But because I grew up talking about it medically, I'm comfortable with it. I know some people are uncomfortable with it. It doesn't really bother me. I don't think, first of all, that it should just be the default that everyone goes on birth control. Like, everyone goes on birth control pills. I understand that some people, like, there's medical reasons, certain people need to be on it. But, like, just think about the name for a second. Birth control, right? Like, you are trying to control that aspect of your life. And I understand it's, like, very controversial. Not a lot of people share my opinion. That's probably why I'm single. But here's the thing.
Control is a very fitting word. They do love to control.
Well, control, like, and think about Planned Parenthood, right? Like,
Mhm.
It's about you being in control of your life, right? So that kids don't become an inconvenience to the plans and the things that you want to do. And I understand, the best thing that I've heard is someone was talking about today, like, well, what if you're in a ministry situation and you're worried about, having kids, and then that ruins your financial state, and then you have to come off the missions field, like, okay, but at the same time, like, I guess from my perspective, I just look at that as, like, God using that to change the course of your life. And
Sure.
yeah,
I think that's a good point.
and also, like, I'm just saying, like, do your research, because there's a lot of birth control out there. Like, there's some that cause an abortion. Like, that's what it does. The kid is conceived, and then it causes an early term abortion, is what some birth control does. So you should at least do your research on what type of birth control. I don't know why. Like, I feel like all the girls are listening, like, nodding their heads, like, yeah, we already know all this, and we hate you.
I do wonder.
Like,
Like, I don't know any.
The guys
I would
don't know. The
I would
guys know
never.
nothing
I would
about this.
never personally would want to, or would want my wife to. But I do wonder about the side effects if they're long term.
well, that's the
Because
other thing is,
the
yeah.
pill, I wonder if, like, once the couple wants to have kids, I do wonder if there's some prolonged side effect. And I know this pill has been around for decades, but I don't know. I'm looking at the fertility rate. I'm looking at the count for men. I think less of this is better. I just view birth control really simply as a way to basically fulfill your passion and your desire without really dealing with the
Well,
consequence.
exactly. That's what it is.
And I think the consequence, it
That's-
should be seen as a good consequence.
That's exactly.
Done right.
Kids shouldn't be a consequence. Kids are the God-given objective of
Mm.
sex within marriage.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think, yeah, I mean, it's just, that's the culture we live in, right? Is we want, I mean, how sad is it that we look at kids as a consequence of our, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it is 10:45, so we can delve deep into it. We would have to at some point.
True.
But I would want to point this out, though. I would say this much. We're living in a time with inflation and high rising costs. Have you ever heard people say, I would want to have children, but I can't right now with how expensive things are? And then meanwhile, you see people like who live very primitive lives. I'm not even necessarily talking about Amish people, but they have like 8 or 10 kids.
And they're doing just fine.
I
Yeah,
th-
I mean, that,
We live in a very material world.
that's the thing, is it comes from your worldview. Like, okay, and this is something that men have to wrestle with, right? Because men want to be the protector and the provider of the home. But at the end of the day, God is the protector and provider of your home. You as a man, like, get to serve in that, be God's servant in that. Like, you're the means by which, money is provided, protection is provided. But at the end of the day, if God wants to allow trials to come in your life to stretch you, to grow you, whether that's the financial, responsibility that comes with you having a kid that you weren't expecting to have or whatever, or even if it's like, an illness or a death in the family, like there's only so much you can do like to protect your family. Like you should do, it's stewardship. You do everything in your power to protect your family, but at the end of the day, God is the protector and provider of your family, and you'll lose sleep at night trying to keep something from happening that God has ordained.
Yeah. The point of like the whole like I would have children, but things are too expensive. But you ever notice like rich people, especially celebrities, influencers, all that, they either have one kid or two kids or none, or they adopt. Even Elon Musk pointed this out. He has a lot of kids, but that's because he has like 3 marriages in total.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly see that as like a well-assumed material that even if we did have the money to have kids, like let's say everyone right now, let's say the average American had a net worth of like $200,000 or something like that. I mean, no, they're getting paid that per year. I don't think they're gonna want to have 3 kids or more. Actually, honestly, I think they'll just use it for vacations. I think they'll use it to buy a more expensive house. I think in some aspect, money is being used as an excuse, and I think the sooner, like we look at like countries that are not as developed, and obviously people say they're not as developed, therefore they're not getting access to contraception. That's why they're having so many kids. But it's like they seem to have a very comfortable life, if you ask me, in a lot of ways, And I think you'll find that and there's something that I had to learn years ago, like there's more enjoyment. There's something amazing about like not just replacing you and your wife by having 2 kids, but you're multiplying, you're being fruitful, and you're passing on something that's greater than any work that I could do physically, anything that I could do in my job. But like, I'm passing on my family line, and that's something that's so fruitful about that, than something material.
Well, either through that, or even if you can't like have your own kids, like adoption, being able to provide that life for someone else who otherwise wouldn't have had it is like one of the most selfless things that you can do. But yeah, no, I was talking about this with someone the other day, just with like looking at how hard it is to like I don't know, you see less and less people going to Christian schools. Like even at Word of Life and Davis, I think attendance has been like down, like admissions has been having, I guess, some issues the last couple of years. And I think part of that is because there's just in general, not even just in Christian circles, people are just having less kids.
Oh no, yeah. There was a video I saw about that the other day where like the college rates are expected to be down. Now this year, part of the reason why not many people are attending college as much is because I heard that apparently the U.S. government changed FAFSA and something like that. It complicated everything, so a lot of people just didn't bother to go. But another thing is
register to vote.
Another long-term problem is people not going to college. Not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, college is very expensive, and a lot of people are just thinking that that's just the next path, but people forget that there are other paths to pursue. Trade schools, of course, are good. Yeah. But then again, yes, I would say college attendance going down is not the least bad thing. I think of like not like keeping up with the population and growing it is a long-term problem. But that might be a discussion for another day. I do want to talk about that. I think I think a lot of people more or less get what we're saying, but they haven't exactly looked at the statistics. I mean,
that's true. It'd be interesting to like look up some actual articles and stuff and discuss this further at a later date.
Yeah. So what should I guess we can't really plan what we're gonna say next time. It has to be off the cuff, like something. It has to be something that like.
Okay, I feel like we can make an exception for like an extenuation of a conversation.
That's true.
We can fact check ourselves with sources.
But then again, something may just like peeve us off, like that day. Like, you know what? I just want to talk about that. I want to go joke mode.
And then we'll go back on the yeah.
And then we had to have a shouting match because we might disagree about something at some point.
That's true. I feel like me and you don't really disagree a lot. I'd be interested to see what a disagreement between me and you would look like.
I don't think we necessarily do. We just had different experiences or like in some way a different outlook, but we can kind of see where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in like the suburbs of Australia. You grew up in rural Virginia.
That's true.
Very different history, very different culture in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, yet we're here.
I was a redneck. You were not a bogan.
Yeah, true. I'm a city slicker,
Not based.
Hey, I live 5 minutes away from the beach. Okay.
From Sodom and Gomorrah?
We have the nice beaches, okay? All I'm saying is, who won the Civil War, Josh?
Listen, half my state won, half my state lost.
Yeah. Robert E. Lee, based or not based? Next episode topic.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Well,
Man,
only
that's
got
a good
9
pla-
minutes
that's a good
till
place to cut it.
9 minutes till indoms, which is 10:51. So I guess we're gonna sign out. So what do we say? I don't know. Good night, audience.
This has been Off the Cuff.
Off
Thank
the
you
cuff.
for-
If you don't like what we had to say, sorry, it's off the cuff. Too bad.
yeah, write us your angry emails. We don't have an email account for this channel.
Leave it in the comment on the YouTube section.
Yes.
Downvote if you must.
Yes. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.